Tom,
Well,
let's talk about Summer League. Let's talk
yeah.
about some Summer League here, Tom, because we got games coming up, being played right now in Utah and in the California Classic. And then we have Vegas Summer League, the big main event later this week. All 30 teams head out to Las Vegas and play their rookies for the first time. There's also a lot of second-year guys playing. So before we talk about some of the 2025 rookies, Tom, I do want to talk about some of the 2024 guys.
Yeah.
Who are the guys that have the most to prove entering their second seasons in the NBA? Who are you watching for in the Summer League from the 2024 draft class? Who's number one on your list?
Okay, so we've already talked about Devin Carter. I love Devin Carter. I feel like he's a guy that coming off of his shoulder injury and missing half the season, not really getting the minutes that he deserves in the sense of like getting the kind of oxygen that he needs to kind of prove himself. I think Devin Carter is so much better than what he showed us last year. Still really big on him, but the guy that I'm going here, of course, it's the summer of Reed Sheppard. We're going to finally see more Reed Sheppard, him playing basketball. We need more of this in our lives. And I want to see more Reed Sheppard out here because he's way too good for the G League. Right. And the Houston Rockets are going to be contending for an NBA championship this season. And I do think that there's another possible trade in the works down the road at the deadline. If Giannis looks at his situation, they don't get Bradley Beal. Could Giannis be a potential option for the Houston Rockets because they still have a lot of gunpowder left to go after another star with the Phoenix picks, with Reed Sheppard and Jabari Smith. Of course, now that he's extended, it complicates things a little bit, but you're looking at Reed Sheppard being potentially part of another deal after this summer league. So I love Reed Sheppard. He averaged 30 points a game in 3 G League games last year. This guy's way better than what he's shown last year, and I'm still a believer. So I can't wait to see what he does this summer.
Did you see the Rafael Stone quote where he said, "We need him to be good, period"? And I think that's true. I mean, they need Reed to be good as a backup ball handler behind Fred VanVleet, as an eventual Fred VanVleet replacement at some point in the future as well. I mean, Sheppard could be a weapon immediately for this team, a very valuable piece for them. There's a chance if Reed Sheppard pans out, he's the better option to be that guard on the floor in closing lineups because of his shooting prowess, because of his defensive activity, getting him passing lanes, swiping at the ball when he's defending on the perimeter. Reed Sheppard in year 2 could be one of those X factors for the Rockets that makes them contender to, oh, wait a minute, they're right there with OKC. Because think about, that's what OKC received, was improvement from their youth. Young guys got better. SGA got even better as an MVP candidate already. He became an MVP. Jalen Williams got better. All of their young guys got better. And so for the Rockets, they can't just be a team that added vets. They need a Reed Sheppard to improve. They need a Jabari Smith to continue making progress. They need like these Tari Eason types, Amen Thompson to continue making progress. And Sheppard is undoubtedly a big part of that. So he's been number one on my list as well, Tom. But another guy that I'm looking forward to watching as well this year in the G League and in the Summer League, Tidjane Salaün, the Charlotte Hornets, because Salaün did nothing last year, really. He was one of the most raw players in all of the NBA. He played in 60 games. Did not produce well at all. 28% from 3, 33% from the floor. That was in the NBA over 60 games. In the G League, he played 5 games. Did not dominate in the G League like our guy Reed Sheppard did, like a lot of lottery picks do. In the G League, very similar numbers. 11.8 points per game, 7.6 rebounds, 37% from the floor, 24% from 3. So does Salaün show some big-time progress in year 2, or does he continue looking like a guy that everybody said entering his draft last year, one of the most raw prospects in years, nowhere near ready, 2 years away from being 2 years away, that type of thing with Salaün? What is he going to look like for the Hornets this year on a roster that's really good? There's a lot of talent on this Hornets Summer League roster, including some of their draft picks this year. So I wonder how he looks in this ecosystem for Charlotte this year.
I love that. And I'll go on the other side of this, the other side of the spectrum here, on a guy that is not a raw project. He was someone that could be stepping in right away, is Dalton Knecht. He's older than Anthony Edwards, LaMelo Ball, and Franz Wagner. If he doesn't dominate Summer League, he might be finding himself out of the league soon, because the Lakers tried to trade him at the deadline, kind of fell out of the rotation, wasn't a guy that was relied upon at all, buried on the bench in the postseason. And the thing is, he's not young. He's not a raw prospect. He's 24 years old. 24-year-olds at Summer League should be dominating. And if Dalton Knecht doesn't become a go-to scorer and a 3-level scorer out on the Lakers Summer League, then there's going to be a lot of questions about his future in the league already, because he just did not have a good season. He had a lot of hype coming into last year, and he's on a timetable at his age that you'd expect a lot more productivity. And the fact that he is already 24 years old, dude, like this Dalton Knecht thing, he has the most to prove to me in terms of like, can he help you win games this year for the Los Angeles Lakers or whomever he ends up on? Because that was a really tough year for him last year with the Lakers.
I think in a different type of way, I'm looking at Rob Dillingham with Minnesota, because they're connected to Beal, they're connected to Chris Paul. If you're Dillingham and you come out this weekend in Vegas and you have just this massive performance and you show, I am like way, way better than these guys, I should not be playing in the Summer League, you might win those minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You might be the guy playing in that backcourt next to or behind Mike Conley and playing alongside Anthony Edwards in a lot of endgame situations. So I think Dillingham, it's a massive opportunity for him. And same thing with his teammate Terrence Shannon too this year, with Nickeil Alexander-Walker leaving for Atlanta. Shannon's going to be the guy who I think could really surprise a lot of people, like he did in the postseason with some really good scoring performances, downhill attacker. He's a spark plug scorer. He's long, he's strong, he's burly, he can pull up, he can get to the rim. Shannon and then Dillingham with his creation ability. For Minnesota, they're going to be the team, one of the teams I'm really watching very, very closely this weekend. And the guy that I probably would have had at the top of my list has already played, so we're not considering him here, but I do want to mention Nikola Topić.
Let's go.
With the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's amazing when you realize Nikola Topić, entering his second year after missing all of last year with a torn ACL, is younger than Con Knippel, VJ Edgecombe, Colin Murray-Boyles, Yang Hansen. He's younger than Derrick Queen. He's younger than Danny Wolf. He's younger than Cedric Coward, younger than Walter Clayton, and now we're getting to the older guys, the upperclassmen in college. But he is younger than a lot of first-round draft picks. And he had a full year to improve his shooting, working with renowned shooting shot doctor Chip England while recovering from his torn ACL. And boy, some of the moments that he's had so far, deflections on defense, drives to the rim, pull-up threes, had some turnovers. I believe he finished with 5 in his second game earlier this week. But, man, Topić just looks like another guy for the Thunder, man. Another fit for OKC.
Not fair. It's not fair. Like, it is kind of the reward for really smart management from Sam Presti, is that you can take Topić and then just be like, yeah, we're going to give him a year off. And then next year, he's going to be 19 years old and balling. And we don't have to really nail our draft pick. We can keep doing this where we bring these guys off on slowly. And then 2 years down the line, you're like, wait, how did they get this guy? Like, where did he come from? They were willing to be patient. And that patience is something that is in short supply around the league. And I think it's a virtue that GMs with owners that are trying desperately with impulsive moves and they switch coaches. OKC is totally different. They're on the sustainability, patience, long-term view, and Topić is the fruit of that labor. And I can't believe that they potentially have another rotation guy just falling out of the sky in Nikola Topić next year. I think it's a huge development.
That's a good one. He's going to be a good one, man. I think that dude is going to play next year. I would not choose him for Rookie of the Year considering the guys ahead of him. But I think on a per-minute basis, the dude's going to be awesome. From the 2025 rookies, Tom, who are you most excited to watch this weekend?
All right, number one for me is Derrick Queen. I want to see what he can do. There's a lot of pressure on this guy because of that 26 pick that the Indiana Pacers got back in the trade is potentially going to be, the New Orleans Pelicans are looking at this. We're like, we got 2 basically top 5 talents in terms of Jeremiah Fears and Derrick Queen. I want to see what Derrick Queen does with New Orleans, because Joe Dumars and Troy Weaver are betting the farm on this guy. And I do think that he's got a lot of pressure. Really good game. Kind of got that Jokic type where he's not a super athlete, but he's got great touch around the basket. Let's see how he defends at the next level. And we'll see in the Summer League what he can do with this roster in the Summer League, where he is going to be surrounded with some talent. And with this New Orleans in transition, this could be a big year for him.
Queen's a good one. I mean, I think like Cooper is the number one, but he's like such an obvious choice. I look forward to being there for Cooper on Thursday with his debut against Bronny James and the Lakers. What a good job by the NBA scheduling that out. Cooper Flagg against Bronny James. Easy for them to promote that one. So Cooper, of course, VJ's already made his debut. Dylan Harper has not. I very much look forward to seeing Dylan Harper with the Spurs. We've seen Ace Bailey. I look forward to seeing Con Knipple. I think of some of the top 10 guys. Colin Murray-Boyles. I'm very much looking forward to see Colin Murray-Boyles with the Raptors, because this dude, he wreaks havoc on defense. How does he bring this energy to a summer league environment? Offensively, what does his jumper look like? He did not shoot well at all in Chicago at the draft combine. Has he shown some level of progress playing in summer league ever since we saw him in May shooting? And then Kaman Malawach with the Phoenix Suns. He fell to number 10. There was talk of him as high as 3, 4, 5. Slips to 10. The Suns get him there. They badly need a center. They traded for Mark Williams. They draft Malawach. Does he look ready? Does he show off some new skills? I've heard in workouts that he was shooting the hell out of it. So let's see some of these guys like that have these improvable skills